the boxing world and helping those guys to sort of find their way, because they were lost in a lot of ways. And so he really, in the end, dedicated his life to trying to right some of the wrongs that he'd done. Unfortunately, when we met and I took over the project, he was already very sick. And in January, I believe, he passed away. And so I've been left with the responsibility of telling that story. And it's been one of those things that just weighs heavy on me. And so even though we didn't originally schedule to finish that film this year, we were hoping to finish it next year, we're trying to move that up and get that done as soon as possible. Not just because his legacy is important, but because his family is really wanting to see that story told. And I think it's going to really help young people to understand what really happens when you hit the streets, when you get caught up in the drugs. So it's one of those things that I really want to get done, and I'm excited about it. And so, yeah, it's a labor of love.
How did you begin behind the camera? How does one become a producer? Most of us are trying to get on the right side of the producer to get an acting job.
Yeah.
How did you become on the production side?
A friend gave me a script that belonged to his nephew, and he said, my nephew wants to make this film, and I read it, and I thought it was very funny. And at the time, I had friends at NBC but had never been in the entertainment business. And I called them up, and I said, I really want to help you. What do you need? And of course, he said he needed everything.
Absolutely, yeah.
Everything.
Absolutely.
He had nothing but this funny script.
Yeah. One of the biggest things that producers do is raise money.
Yes.
Either they have money in their pocket, cash ready, or they have to raise money.
Yes.
And no matter how small the amount, it's always a lot of money for that project and for those people.
It is.
If whether it's $100 million or $100, it's a tough grind.
Yes, it is.
So you got.
So I funded the short film, and it won a bunch of festivals, and then I really felt like I could do this for a lot of people, especially if I could make money while I was doing it. So then I got bitten by the bug, and then I learned a lot as I went along, and I'm sort of a businesswoman. Not sort of. I am a
businesswoman? Really?
I'm all business. So.
It's a wonderful New York story. It's a really great New York story.
I'm a businesswoman.
Your story I'm talking about. It's a wonderful New York story. You really started with nothing in hand.
Yes.
And just started to put the pieces together, and more, and each project is a little bigger, or more of a challenge than the last one.
Yes.
And so you're in that process.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
And I love it. I love being able to have something go from, one place to another, and that's sort of what I do. Right. I'm not really big, and Star hates when I say this, but I'm not really big on the creative side of things. I'm really about the product. And that's what I do, and I don't try to do something else. And being in front of the camera was sort of stepping out of my comfort.
Without people like you, there are no parts.
Right.
There wouldn't be any parts for us to go seek.
Yes.
We need people that are doing that part of it.
Yes.
It's essential.
Yes, and just to mention that money is really, it's a big part of it, but there's a lot of films that are produced that people find the money and make them, but if nobody ever sees them. So that's only part one of being a producer. If you can't get that film out to the masses and the public, then your investment flops because you can't get your money back.
Absolutely.
And that filmmaker is not going to get the recognition that they need.
It's amazing how many actors don't understand that it is a business.
It is.
The actors are mostly on the art side, and some give me the impression that they're under the impression if something costs $100 million, so what? Because there's art. Uh-oh, let's see if I do this right. Pick it up.
Your speaker. Put it back.
Hello?
Hello, Bill.
Hey, who's the star of the show? Star Davis, of course.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you called back. Yeah, we're having a good time here talking with Emelyn and Anthony and kind of being educated on the producing process, which is a very lengthy, expensive, laborious process.
Do you have a question
You know
for Bill? You have a
Well,
question?
I just, the question will follow my statement. My statement is that I want to commend Star and Emelyn and you, Anthony, for having them on your show because of what they do in terms of bringing along proteges and people who are relatively new to the arts in whatever field, music, film, technology, or other areas. And I think that's an important part of what they do. And I want to ask them how they feel about doing that, and that is the mentoring that takes place.
Oh, I was going to say you're looking at me, and the first thing I did was to look over at Emily.
This is
I'll let
live
you-
radio.
I'll
This
let
is
you
live
answer
radio,
that one,
boys and girls.
Ellen.
Somebody has to answer.
Well, you know, I have to say that for me, that really is the big return. It's being able to see people develop their talents, to really do the thing that brings content to their heart. I think it's very sad that there are things, burning desires in your heart, things you want to do, and because you don't know the right people or because you don't have enough money or whatever the disadvantage is, that you never get to live in that moment. That to me is a tragedy. And that really moves me. It moves me to get up every day and to find new ways. And when they close the door, I climb in the window and bring a bunch of people with me. That really is the big draw for me.
That's wonderful. That's your joy.
Yes.
That's the part that's why you keep doing it.
Yes.
Bill and I, you're still there, right, Bill?
I'm listening, and
Yeah.
I thought that was a great response. And
Bill and I began by broadcasting to absolutely nobody. That's how this program
Right.
started. We broadcast to no one,
Okay.
and
now you're broadcasting to me.
well, at least that you're listening. We have a confirmation of that.
We're grateful
But we
for
began by broadcasting to
Well, we have thousands, including Anthony's loyal following in the Aleutian Islands.
Yes, and we can understand and appreciate what you're talking about. It's a labor of love. It's something that we wanted to do, and it's just like what you're doing, what Star does, with editor-in-chief of UCAN magazine, and all the work that goes into that, and all the work that goes into your productions.
Well, keep it open. I know you have limited time, so we'll see you soon.
Take care, Bill, and thanks for the call.
Okay, you're welcome.
We still have about a minute and 43 seconds if you want to ask one quick question, because then we have to do our sign-offs. I want to thank you, Emelyn, for coming on the program,
my
and I
pleasure.
want to
Thank
thank
you.
you, Star, for bringing Emelyn here. Let's see.
I guess that's the last question.
Pick it up and then hit speaker.
Hello, this is the AC Lowe Show.
Yes, hi, AC Lowe. This is Mikey G from Blues and Beyond.
Oh, hello, how are you,
I just
Mikey?
wanted to call in to tell you guys you have a really fine show tonight. I'm listening to you on one of my breaks at the WPIX television studios. You guys have a really great show. Your topic is really on point, and I really enjoy listening to it. Keep up the great work.
Well, thank you very much.
And we really appreciate you listening, and we know about Blues and Beyond. We're very happy about that.
Well, thank you. We're really happy about you, too. We
Thank
got a
you.
real fine team of which you guys are a very important part, and I think you guys have a really, really wonderful show. I've got a couple of emails already that say they like your show as well as mine and some of the others, so just keep up the good work.
Thank you so
You're-
much,
you're
Mike.
a
We
really
really
great
appreciate
spot
that.
on Johnny Mel's station. You guys really are the real deal.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that so much. Thank you for your call.
You're very welcome. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Well, there's another call. So two people are listening. Actually, we've been running in the thousands now for quite some time,
Yes.
and we're very happy about that. Star, what can
That's
I
great.
say? Thank you so much for bringing
Yes.
Emelyn here. You're going to see Star Davis going forward. You know, she's going to be here from time to time, and I hope that we can have you back and talk
Yes.
some more about your project. And when we get close to Oktoberfest, we want to talk about that.
Yes,
And
thank you.
put it up
Thank
on
you for having
YouTube.
me.
This will be up tomorrow morning on YouTube.
Wow,
For the world
okay.
to see, and this show will be up on demand later on in the week and be rebroadcast tomorrow by our good engineer RJ. Without RJ, we couldn't do here. RJ does a great job. Thank you, RJ.
Yay.
Thank you to Julie Notwist. I want her back next week because we forgot to do the promo that we were supposed to do today. We never did it, but we'll try and do it again next week on next week's show. So if everyone can just take a look at the camera. And from New York, this is AC Lowe saying thank you so much and good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you. Julie, could you hit the button, please?